Thank you and welcome to the show today. The topic today is a profile on former Mayor Richard Fulton. And of course, we're happy to have in our studio with us today Mr. Richard Fulton. And let me welcome you to the show this morning, Mr. Fulton.
Well, thank you, Dr. Haney. It's certainly good to be here with you.
You know, one of the things that we've dealt with during this early part of our conversation, Mr. Fulton, has to do with the fact that you at one time were the mayor of the city of Nashville, and now we have you as a profile candidate for the same position at a different time, a different place. And so let's talk about Richard Fulton. Let's give you an opportunity to talk about your background, your education, your experiences, and some of the things that were important. Not only in terms of leading you into a whole variety of political activities, but also to lead you into the chair that you're sitting in this day, talking about your candidacy for the mayor of Nashville.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Yes, I'd like very much to go into the background of who Richard Fulton is, what I have been able to do in my life as a result of the confidence of the voters in Nashville. First, I attended public schools, graduated from East High School, went into the Navy, served a brief time in the Navy at the very end of World War II, came back, went to the University of Tennessee on a football scholarship, as well as the GI Bill. Did not finish at UT, came home and entered into small business with my brother, who had returned from service also, using the GI Bill for a small business loan. Stayed in business, small business, neighborhood dry cleaners, neighborhood 5 and 10 cent store, neighborhood 3-base service station. So I had a business background, and then I was elected to the state senate, served one term in the state senate, decided I would run for Congress, was elected to Congress in 1962 and served there until leaving in the middle of September of 1975 to become the mayor of Nashville. So I served 7 terms in Congress and 12 years, 3 4-year terms as mayor. And the past 11 and a half years, I've been once again back into the business world, having helped start the new Bank of Nashville, being chairman of that board for several years now, a member of the board, as well as setting up a new company called the School Company, as well as the Fulton Group. But as much as I've enjoyed business, I still enjoy the political world even more. And that's why I'm asking the people of Nashville to give me an opportunity to be the mayor once again. I bring experience to the job. I bring a vision for the future to the job, and certainly bring the energy to get the job done, to make sure that we continue to grow and to grow in a very quality way.
You know, I think that there are many, many issues that we'll face, Mr. Fulton, as you'll probably face if you're selected as the next mayor for the city of Nashville. One of the most important things, I believe, has to do with the council situation, because I think you will have to, as a mayor, work quite closely with the Metropolitan Council. And so let's have you to talk about the council itself, and perhaps deal with one of those most important elements that has to do with term limits. I think that will probably have an impact upon whoever is elected mayor the next time. Yes. Let's do it from that perspective.
No question, you're absolutely right. I did have, as a member of Congress, I was one of 3 regional whips. And that doesn't mean we went out and whipped anyone. That was just, our assignment was to find out if we could, how members of our party were going to vote on a particular issue. So I had that experience, and that allowed me, I think, to understand and to work well with a 40-member council. A lot of people will say, well, how can you work effectively with 40 members? That seems to be too large of a body. I did not think so, and still do not think so. I had no trouble working with a 40-member council. I found that if you keep them well informed, if you meet with them on a regular basis, individually as well as collectively, and they feel that they're part of a team. We put together, the 12 years I was there, we put together a very good working team that had a real team effort that allowed Nashville to grow and to grow in a very positive way. The Riverfront Park, the Convention Center, we started the renovation of 2nd Avenue and Broadway. And one of the things that I was most proud of, though, during those 12 years was over 700 miles of water and sewer lines that were laid. We extended sewer lines into the areas of Nashville that unfortunately had overflow problems, septic tanks overflowing, raw sewage standing out in the yards. as well as we did not have the sewer lines or water lines in the outlying area that would allow for industrial and commercial as well as residential development. Working with a 40-member council would not be any problem with me. I have advocated in this campaign that the charter be changed after this election to where we would no longer have the 5 at-large members as exist today, but instead we would have 5 super districts that would be representative. Say one district would be North Nashville, one South Nashville, one East, and one West, and then a central district.
And so in a real sense, you're simply assigning those council persons at large a specific area.
A specific area. Unfortunately, we've had over 36 years now of metro government. I don't mean unfortunately we've had the government. I mean, unfortunately, we haven't been able to elect an African-American at large. And I think that's a sad commentary. I'm very hopeful that we will have one or more elected on August the 5th to that large position. But even during that same period of time, we've only had one female that's been elected council member at large. And so that's why I think it is time for us to try to assure us that we're going to have more equal representation within the 40-member council. And as far as term limits, the question you raised, I have been opposed to term limits. I know the voters have had an opportunity to vote on that question 3 times in approximately the last 6 years, and I don't think they should. I don't think it should be put on the ballot anytime soon. I think we need to let the voters see the results of not having people in the council like Willis McAllister, Mansfield Douglas, or Charlie Fentress, people that have been there for 20 to 25 years that have experience, they know how to make government work for the people and not the people working for the government. And I think term limits deprives us of some really qualified, experienced people.
You know, Mr. Fulton, I think that one of the things that we'd like to talk about during this first segment has to do with some of the issues that you believe to be important in your campaign. And certainly I believe that schools would play a very, very significant element in that. And let's give you an opportunity to sort of reflect on where we stand, excuse me, dealing with our schools at this particular point. And I hesitate to raise that because I'm not exactly sure how much time we have before we have our first commercial break. Let's start there.
It would take many hours, of course, to go into what needs to be done, what is being done within our public school system. Obviously, we have made a lot of progress in recent years. While I was mayor, we built an additional 10 schools. We renovated about 15 more. We made a lot of progress. In 12 years, we've more than doubled the budget for the public school system. And Mayor Bredesen has been very effective, I think, in working with the school board and the school administration over the last several years. Well, I think we're on the verge of getting rid, hopefully, of the portable classrooms, or most of them. And the core curriculum that is in place now, I wholeheartedly approve. We're going to have to do more in after-school programs, however. Most of the juvenile crime is committed between the hours of 2:30 in the afternoon and 7 to 7:30 at night. We only have about 6,000 students now in an after-school program. I think we need to triple that number, and that will help reduce the juvenile crime, and it will help make our neighborhoods safer, and it'll make for better students graduating from our schools.
Good, good. I think we've got about 50 seconds here, Mr. Fulton, before we come to our first commercial break. But essentially, that's what we wanted to try to get from you, some information relative to your background, your education, and some of your experiences. Now, when we come back during the second segment, we want to give you an opportunity to continue talking about schools, but at the same time to talk about some of the other things that are happening in Nashville, as well as some of the other developments, and more specifically about downtown development, because I think that you were involved in downtown development when you were the mayor of Nashville, because I think you had the infamous hole down there for a long time. I remember the hole. And so when we come back, we'll give you an opportunity to talk about some of the things that you've been able to accomplish and what you see as part of that downtown development. And of course, we'll be back with you following this short commercial.